Bamian Ken, why and I wish a part into Abaman.
Me pe Canada Agyapong.
I didn't tell Becky Japan.
Oh, yeah, Juma. When young she is, or be or crassy. Me, mamma crass, cry, be a my. Or Sisuku diamay. Auntie me pe Canada.
Nothing any say Baumont to my Baumia, parting into my Baum.
And I say, Obia, the Obia Cadio pay.
Okay.
To me, dear, me pen no Canada Agyapong.
Was Zabuzongo.
I was Sabon Zango.
Sabon
Zango.
Okay.
It ends at 18.
Okay.
Me Canada Agyapong, ya me phone so.
It is a party no more. We MBB.
Aye.
We MBB.
Aye.
We are sure. What party card?
I say my ba MPP, na me NDC.
And I NDC.
Aye, Canada Agyapong tina me ba MPP.
Oh wow, I see. I see. It is a MBB form to my ba me I don't share the nebis.
Dia wo mu ane wo. Omo to ba wo ya I won kire na e wo mu no. Eno ane e betinam.
I see.
En change.
Nti
omo to ma Canada Agyapong.
Okay, Mate that's it.
They get connected and I say it is possible. So any pa me no. And I say trend pa. Now we I get connected and I say it is possible. Ubetimi lo comment section. Now pabdi we me penasem afenyo markings. Me feeling too much. Adwene da afenyo tirimu na no wetin. Me say me Kennedy flu afenyo na me feeling no. Me feeling brutal. I say o kasa ho. Utim say o ye matured. Ana ne nsɛm a wɔka no onim de wɔka no onim bebe kwa kwesi wadi nkomo bi e wo ntumi afidie no so ɛfa nkabom a NPP fo ɛwɔ so wɔka wɔn ho bomu me nya NPP ni o me ye Kennedy ni tie ni se Kennedy ko ye NDC a me ye Kennedy ni still na me ye Kennedy ni na afenyo ana ase mabudo e de ama too much ɛwɔ how we see e kan nsɛm ekeka ne o masi ani ema anioma etimi da na akwa so o se unity no e important na odi abronya DC de na eto no no e na odi di nkomo e wa afidie no so
ti wuni me da homache na me nim se your friends abronya omo de ne kokot na me kan social media around 4 a.m. na me hu se Nana B afre me na me say Nana B 4 a.m. hey what's happening me pick here o se kwa me na me gina wo gate my gate what's it no obey inside Nana B by I say kwamna omode abronye air courts and then he's appearing in court or call Monday or then judge no say court 2 days inti and then Friday omode no court wumpio na obey lawyer dress up me am court ache and me question me court atade and the call here wo hwe judge no enyoma no all can ena dia ayesa wa prepare na adwen say me be punish abronye ena okotro sa animal farm brofo bi na otro ye me hwe judge nanim din me ti court dem no na honorable Fred Blay aba na eya friend say Godfrey Domiso aba ena afa judge nankasa obohu say a minority leader and I yen could you upon the law firm.
Yes.
And I know yeah, or the young lawyer no, or no so money buy and they so case anymore. You won't say some of the original chairmen were there. When we say after a few days of public outcry, the Attorney General himself went for variation. Anna.
Yes.
So have you seen the power in unity? After judge, you know. Ono ani promotion crampo no
na esiki
ne ho hihye no what I say it was a wake up call say when we are united as a party no evil can touch any of us
we afenyo enkomo a odi eno no na ese enu nkatia di nkomo bi ewo MSYZ ana ya ena no was na damfo ne honorable Kennedy Agyapong na odi nkomo fa Kennedy eni bawomia ho a wo kire say Kennedy 6 months pe atimi de nya vote bi eno signal bi a according to ase edu nkatia ode kire say Kennedy ade a waye no ono kwa ne ho ayeden adwiri no
nsam madamfo ne Kennedy o
we are fine
oh you different kura
oh okay
nsam me wo parliament na oye me ranking member no me a committee chairman no a ranking member at some point enunti no I'm sure a controversial person. It's my friend control. No, so I just control.
Oh, okay.
And and until Obia or no canon pain be said na ninja presidency home. Now all the bear busu means here. Atiasi muse or your campaign. No atimi anya 37%. Into establishment candidate ni Obia mfiensoni ya building no say obedi president. Na the otiminya 61% no. Echira who say say the strength of one candidates no. Na womo anya de eye papa. Anka kraman befa ba omiampaboa. Nti within 6 months watimi achieve we no. Nti mejiri say no kra eka ho ema Kennedy no. Amani boato ni yam kakra. Because very clear say obia watimi atimi identify miasa abenya 37% no. Oye in the reckoning for one future flaberers. Nunti ompre ni home kwatwe ni home free by bia onim say we die ba omieko enye ye.
Okay.
Nti anye ye no otwe ne ho a. Say Kennedy no abai in contention. And nunti mji say ka ni calculation ho. Because we die we atwe ne ho. Ala na atwe ne ho. And say one way wo ho say sia no. Ba omieko lusu wi a I say Kennedy na abeda na bam. And then some na oka within 6 months what me anya sa achievement we no. A child say oh ye campaign be 1 year na 1.5 years. Kabehano. Cause in some MPP for I can kukuamu say abai we go mo ani mase no. And say no home.
Be be bia get connected. Obi adi Honorable Kennedy e ho nkomo. Ano den na almost Kennedy akoka asembi afa eye tribal comment bi akomeki e na etre na edidi mebo audio bi e de akyerew audio ya mebo akyerew omo na record omo hu audio okrum minim se politicians no komo record omo ho sa abugiri yi na record em se sa IGP se bi sa na e ba abonten bi no wosan de wodi fufuru bi aba abonten a wono nso eye the same tribal nsensem na we ke enobo Kennedy Agyapong voice na womu a ka koya asem Ghana de ha benye honorable voice ndi wonze we ni de toku bi ayidin.
He went to where?
Down
Tell me that he was doing that. What did he say?
I told you that some chiefs are warning people not to vote for him.
Hey.
So your voice. But do you want them?
Yeah, I want them.
I think Kennedy called you or?
No, and I'm Zoya.
Who called you?
And I'm Zoya.
And I'm Zoya called you that.
That Ken you want to bring Ken to my office and I asked him for what? That say Ken used to be my friend. I said yes. Then he said, oh, they hear that I am advising people not to vote for him. And I said, yeah, I asked them to vote for my brother and I'm campaigning for my own self, not for even anybody. Because it is my brother.
Let me add up to you. Your income.
Okay.
Let me add it.
Okay.
No. Your father's on the line, yo.
Yes.
No, okay. We're not going to do your prayer. We're not going to do what's
Dog, how are you? Yes. I want to see you.
I'll thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Honorable voice and anke that's one ka assembly ka Ghana nyina ko obi antimi ndawo. Se ya ye ka se Paul de mochra frɛ Honorable Kennedy Agyapong ne nkɔfo ni bi okasa de ma no. Ene wo busa ne se Honorable akomeki comment bi a omo se eye tribal comment enu nti enya de beboa na opanyina kyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm nim e wo Paul de mochra fidie ne so. Yenko na wankasa fu wani ne waso tie nsɛm a Honorable kan ye ene de eye nipa okasa de ma Honorable yi ebe kenafa judgment egu comment section.
Kwesi Kwarteng has joined me in the studio. Kwesi Kwarteng is a lawyer, and he speaks for Kennedy on Agyapong. Kwesi, good evening and welcome to the show again.
Good evening, Paul.
The reason why you are here is that Kennedy Agyapong, the candidate, is accused of delving into tribal politics. There's a video where he talks about he being something about Akan people, something like that. What happened?
I mean, contrary to it, he has been a victim of this tribal politics. Unfortunately, there are some other people who benefit from it. It just so happens that after benefiting from it, they played the Wall Street game, played the victim role, and Ken, of course, appears to be like, I mean, somebody who is propagating it. Just like what we see. I mean, if you go to America, for instance, there are some genuine instances where somebody may have committed a wrong thing, but they hide under the umbrella of racism and want to justify it. So Ken is rather suffering and has been a victim of the political abuses, whilst unfortunately, and to the contrary, we have other candidates who are enjoying from same. But these are the facts. The facts are that just yesterday, when he met some delegates in the Eastern region, he reinforced and reiterated and of course raised a concern. And that concern, Paul, had to do with the unprecedented levels of tribal intimidation that is happening in certain parts of the north. It is important for me to state clearly that Ken is not divisive, Ken is not discriminatory. Interesting.
What did he say? What did he say in the video that created this problem?
Yeah, his point was the fact that he needed to raise these concerns, which had to do with the fact that if you go to certain parts of the north, his supporters are constantly being intimidated.
Currently?
Yes, there are situations where they have to get chiefs to compel delegates to pledge to vote in a certain direction. Recently, if you recall, when he went to the north, remember there were some delegates who voluntarily came to him and revealed information about how they voted for him, which unfortunately they recorded 0 for him. I mean, he raised this concept, but interestingly, some of these are people who came forth are getting threat of being banished, and some of them also threat of harm. So he just had to lay those concerns out, and of course, I mean, had to emphasize that if that is happening in other parts of the country, if we don't condemn it, it may also embolden other parts of the country, for instance, parts of the South to also do the same. And I think, unfortunately, some of the media reportage misrepresented it. I don't want to repeat the name of the media house on your platform, but they misrepresented it and presented a certain outlook that suggests that Ken is asking all accounts to vote against minority group. I mean, there is no way he would do that.
Vote against minority rule?
Minority group.
Minority group,
yeah. Minority, the groupings, I mean, the other ethnic groups. And we believe in the honest, fair, and of course, inclusive policies. But what we also resist vehemently is any attempt to also blackmail us on any religious or tribal lines. Because the record has is clear, and the history is also there, that there have been candidates, they move to their home regions, engage in all manner of tribal and identity politics. I personally do not believe there is anything wrong with identity or, let's say, home advantage. I don't believe there is anything wrong with that.
But I'm from here, so
yeah, vote from here. But when you propagate that and then play the ostrich game and then appear victim when you move to the other, your opponent's home region, that is where I feel it marks some form of hypocrisy and ought to be condemned. So, Paul, the emphasis has to be made on your show that Ken is not divisive. His recent company, the rubber company, employs 360 people. Interestingly, 300 of them are all from the northern part of the country.
The rubber company in the northern region?
No, it's in Greater Accra here, Tema. It's in Tema here. But interestingly, it employs about 300 northerners out of the 360 people that currently works there. So the point has to be made very strongly, refuting the claims and those reports that were misleading and deliberately misrepresented to create an impression as though Ken does not like Northerners. And interestingly, this thing only resurfaces anytime you are going to have election, where it's almost being used as a tool, being weaponized also by some politicians to create an impression that other grouping or other tribal group do not like the other. We dissociate ourselves from such campaign. But of course, like I indicated, we will also not allow anyone to blackmail us into silence when it comes to religious life. If chiefs are being compelled to call delegates, to ask them or force them to vote in a certain direction, and also there are also delegates that has been threatened against harm, and of course there are also threat of banishment, all on the basis that they support care. I'm not sure if you're a leader, you just leave it hanging. Obviously, you condemn same and also ask for inclusivity and of course, I mean, some political.
How is the campaign going though? Where is Ken these days?
Campaign is so well. Ken, as of now, is on his 11th region, which happens to be the Eastern region. Just yesterday in the evening, he took a break, has to embark on some few personal rounds, and hopefully in the next 2 days he will also proceed. But of course, our message is really going on well. Our message has been simple. I mean, in 3 phases, I would say it's premised on jobs, 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 yes, and that's what he's preaching. Especially, you recall, Paul, yesterday, the unfortunate incident that happened where young people had to lose their lives in their search of jobs. Of course, Ken is not promising to come and solve every problem in the country. But within the first 4 years that any person will have as a president, with the right environment, empowering the private sector, and of course, taking those bold initiatives and bold decisions, I am very confident that we'll be able to reduce unemployment and create decent jobs for our people. Not only decent jobs, but also even those who are working, who are underpaid. The Ken's principle is that when the economy boosts, which of course there are a lot of job creation, people's salary also going to be affected, and people are also going to live the decent life, so that the American dream that people are living in America, the UK dream that people are living, we can also live the Ghanaian dream.
Which is the Ghanaian dream, which is that you will have a job.
You have a decent life.
Exactly,
job. Decent life, of course. When you decent life will mean that you at least have a means of livelihood. So that, Paul, if you want to rent a beautiful place, you should be able to. If you want to change your car, or if you want to have access to car, especially after working for a reasonable period of time, say 5 years, 6 years, this should be basic, and it's also basic in other jurisdictions, other countries. I mean, there is a global trend, and especially when it comes to our jurisdiction, it's very it's on the rise, where a lot of young graduates have to pretend as though they want to pursue further studies. Most of them, recently I was in Canada, most of the students that go to Canada and other jurisdictions, most of them do not even go to school. They just end up driving Uber and engaging in other menial jobs, all because in their home country they are unable to live very decent life and the Ghanaian dream. So Ken is of the view that when you name unemployment to the barest minimum, at least the decency that is associated with the human life and of course the dignity that we all deserve, we should be able to get it as God's children.
That's interesting. There's a narrative that this MPP race may be too tight. Is it true?
I beg to differ. Of course, I mean, I respect those views. For me, especially from where I'm coming from, is a feedback to us to ensure that we really work hard. But from how the grounds are and how the delegates are receiving our message, you realize that the delegates is about 1.16% of the entire general voter population, which is about 18 million, because the delegates is about 218,000. If you do the mathematics, you realize about 1.16%. So at the end of the day, the delegates also are listening to what the majority of Ghanaians are calling for. If you sit in trust, people are calling for Ken. If you enter the malls, Ken. They say it in a very simple language, especially in the markets. More the Ken buy a better. So I have the impression, I have the conviction that this message is really sinking to the delegates. That yes, all the other candidates are capable. They are all, I mean, very great and nice gentlemen, but within the exigency of the moment, the timing, people are saying that more they can buy a better. And for me, that gives him the added advantage, that credibility, that trust. It's not only about marketability, but it's also an aggregation of marketability and visibility. You know, marketability may just be, marketability will have to be acceptability, and visibility will have to be presence. In the case of Ken, maybe unlike all other candidates, Ken is both marketable and visible. And for me, it gives him that advantage, that presence of visibility, and of course, that aspect where a lot of Ghanaians trust him. They place value on him, that Ken is honest, Ken is bold, Ken is patriotic, Ken is somebody who will not tolerate A, B, C, D. Especially at a time like where we believe that most of our challenges has always been issues of discipline. We will need that leader who can make strong decisions. I believe strongly that Ken has another advantage. I don't see it as a tight race. I see one of Ken is going to win. I'm looking at between 62 to 64%.
Oh wow, that's interesting. You think Ken's going to win?
Yes.
Straight away?
Yeah, all things being equal, between 62 to 64%. Because currently, Paul, the Brian Champon factor has also changed a lot of the dynamics.
Yeah.
Where, of course, I wouldn't pretend that he's also not maybe snatching some of Ken's supporters, but out of every 10 people that goes to Brian Champo's camp, chances are that 9 of them are from the Dr. Baumia's camp. So he's really changed the dynamics, coupled with the fact that delegates believe that we need to present somebody who Ghanaians want and are ready to vote for. It gives him some added advantage. So I'm very confident that Ken will emerge victorious.
The Mongas Martin Chirimuno. To honorable comment you are making at I de ha one 10 times one. In Chirimuna, need to pay a dear bay. But me, why check comment section. Me say connected and answer a Venice almost about me or lives in Boo. It is possible. A moody here now here, maybe they are connected at the mammy. Minimo why venture. Now, honorable Kennedy Japan call for a year campaign 18 como. Can't go into Muhuni say was almost 2 at the honorable Kennedy Japan. As in the campaign, the real say is smooth. I'm sorry, Kwana ya peke adi no.
Ni yakika ya na muachira ni akwati nkomo bi. Wo mo se ya papa no de wo ye. Papa no de wo no nko ani ni sika. Papa no de wo bu ahiafo. Papa no de wo waye mu ye. Nanso odidi atem. Ma me simu ati bio. Mun ti bi da. Ana me nko ana ya metie. Yeso odidi atem. Ye. Ma me. Ya nkaso ye kromfo. Womo ankasa ya nkaso akofo obi yire ba ko bi e ka ho de me fere mu anim so madama mo fa ncheme ya nkaso akofa ba bi wo wuram ye ni yeso ye de wedidi atem enu no tin wo mo agode beboa MPP fo ma ye te ha yi a etu won fa no mo anko won fa nko ana ye mini akoso menu we ni na tem da na wonso wabedi wo maami atem ana ka kire me mesi ada sankroma Honorable Kennedy Agyapong ni na tem da eti minim se bia no wabedi di obi atem wa ha monka ni ensi nkonwa ne ya ni enka ho asem onye sa na chesu obi na twe na no de si MPP amanyokuo mpanifo ho na papa eti ho na na hiye na bufuo enu wo koka bie enu nti na yesi empam no yi abusia amanyo no de aba beduro no no de abeduro no na nanu na me bon kompohwe Bible mu wo mu Nyankopon fa wo mu de wo mu ye niema akese me hwe ya na me hu se wo mu nyina da wo bie ni ho na brabo no eye 100% perfect da se wo mu nyina ye nkofo bia no mani so se no wo mu mponi abotere na de ohwe Mose Nyankopon se fa ba ni kire botan no so enam se ni buafuo nti wo se mo nkofo a munyi nie na mu behu Nyankopon se nkire ni otimi ye wo ma ba no so pe Nyankopon se sa na mka se ye no ni buafu wo kwotro mransam du odi obeduru ye hu se Israel fo no som bosom wo ma so ko wiem we tusa ye ja Mose asem na me kan yi o wodifo bia na nwosra bone be Elisa asem na make Elijah Elia sa de kan ni twi no wodifo Elia woni Nyankopon kasa enimu ni enimu wono wo fro pepo no abere ne mofra bi gina ho sere no wo se he ensisire mu firi wura mu mewe mofra yi no mu mu ade eneyi asanke be ka se no su nipa boni ni ebi mada esu no oni Nyankopɔn kasa enimu ni enimu woni abotre mofra sere no keke ni ensisire fi wura mu aba bewe wono kura Nyankopɔn de ne ye adwuma David ne ba Solomon de me nko enu po de esem na mbeka kire mi o David timi kofo obi yire ekum ne kunu ka ho kodu ba bi Nyankopɔn say David is a man after my own heart Nyankopɔn say David de wodama so wo bi a wafo obi yire kum ne kunu na chese enye ne ebu aten o enye ne ebu aten na hwan Nyankopɔn a woye dai wo hunu akomamu na brei was what the Nesatu Honorable Kennedy Agyapong so we yi no amba ye ne a yes ene wan se ye de ebeka so odidi atem eti Nyankopɔn de beji ye a enye yi ana Nyankopɔn soma me se mansoma wo mabua ye ne enye yi ana was wo meji Ghana fo a eti odidi atem nti enkwa ana the bi eba wo man se brasem a ye ka ye de niam bi to nchen ade ehu ne se be kakra obi ankoma ye party bi mu obi abeko no ho asem bi ba kwabna ka me ka bi be yesu meka ma no atum me kɔ kan ekira nko me kɔ predi bre bia ye de be ye ntansa de abesen me ko mu enti ma me obi di asem be for do wa na ebeka bi ama wo
ana hu ni say nkomo ya koso no aso obi a ono abu ni hia no ono abu na eba obi a di nkomo a ono abu din no obo ano odin na omo se enkremufuo adi nkomo bi e na omo chese nipa obeka say imam ono so comment o me mekini o se ono abu Kennedy Agyapong obechusu no over Bawumia as eye ono oye imam o se sheik o se de ande no e de nti e na o ka sa asembui obetim lo comment.
But circumstances binti Dr. Ntimi meye president of Ghana da me malam na America.
Ntimi meye president.
Opa munni agona mo fa Dr. Nim party na nim 1,000 times obewe.
O sini
me do Nyankopɔn me ka ni pay wo ha. Ayi mukrom ha ba bi adwo asafo firi no. The friend say domi kwablanya. Na na do ko abato so 2020 no. Wanya 78,467. Votes are na adunya no. I represent over 60%. So yeah. Ana adwo asafo kura ne papa nti ni papa nti hodo mu pa bibi pa. Adwo asafo kura nya 65,041 votes. Na BT adwo asafo over 3,000 votes. Tieni yo. But Professor Mark Ekwe ba na efe no.
Smart gang update.
Onya 50,000 votes. Na ba omi anam 5,000. Hey, fisia umi hu bi da I want people abakwase mu 5,000 votes domi kwabrenya na ba umia nkonfo na omusole a ye mani nkobiem ya omonte nkonta na elections enya draw e fact and figures ubetimi akodi draw na ya NDC no akodi bantama seat ubetimi
abedin
emfa opako wura bani ni je emfa ena kire so abato onya de be enya draw ba umia opa aba no wanko ne spiritual fathers for nanso onyai se mama so ko ne de ho ade no ube enya adura se mo hwe Professor Mark Ekwe ba no ni 50,000 votes a wonyaaye no sa wo hwe ba omi ade 5,146 ba omi votes no sa wo hwe differences na 45,553 votes enipa o mo to aba ma Professor Mark Ekwe ba no sa unim say yeto aba ne simultaneously yeto MPs na ne yeto presidential anameboa enti aden no no nya over 50,000 votes na ba o nya 5,000
na je so omotoma
Professor Mark Ekwe no mu ja no mu ko fie omompe no mu ko fie omanto ama no tina me ka kire wo say omompe candidate no nya MPP no omompe no and the MPP for so sole a omo say MPP for anto aba de bi omo nim hwe Professor Mark Ekwe bananya over 50,000 votes ba omi anya 5,000 no say MPP for anto aba MPP for bi koto aba ba o ma nyere be o ma anto ama ba omi a show Odi ayo 50,000 votes no. Ah wo 45,000 free mu no. E madodo no difference in the 45,553. Enti e kire se sa nipa 45,553 no. Omutuma Professor Makeko wi na omukọkọdai ba omi ade no manto.
Ah,
Omo manto ama
so omutuma Makoko ba no nko ade na che so omo MPP.
Omo MPP for
MPP.
Yes, MPP for to aba. Wọ́n say ẹ̀díẹ̀ na masa adìẹ wẹ̀ sí hwẹ́ two political parties and yama two alternatives ni yama o kwadu and yama o apple ubetimi ayi mu baako ye se kopo no mu na enne wo ho na ye hwɛ die ubetimi de enne dodo ayi de bɛyi aba political party B, political party A, and political party A no ɔno wafa kwadu because enne di kwadu. So definitely ukokwa yemu wa wo de ni bebre be ebeba edru political party bi ni nko aso na akofa apple na enne omudi apple enne omudi apple MPP for problem nyina ni asa lawyer for nim asa doctor metimi show omudi na medidi Ghana ha no a Christian country omu dominate over 70 plus and a Christian population
71
Muslims no 30 na aka nya ye dia enkremofo wom abosomsumfo omuksoso omse me de me nko baabia bi na ba na dai oso no pe Kristo som ompe bosomsom ompe obia de na abaye no obia de believe ana me boa saafo nyina aflafla mo ti uhwa jo mama na wo ye Christian no aye de ne ko magana fo no dodo no be rebe ebeto no eno ne apple ne kwadu asem no na wo kofa apple dia eni ne kura ho no mu dwane o once Professor Makeko aba no moto aba ma duru ba mo no mu dwane sada na ya to aba mo obi anya over 50,000 votes sada kro na obi anya 5,000 votes party kro na so no mu viso mo fa hen aso ma di ayera duru mo to ya hwe so mo ka kire mo na mantie tama ya beto 2023 internal elections no o mo ma dwuma bo bill obia conducting research omo fa lanchire matin de ne compare jo mama na lanchire matin BT jo mama omo fa papa kene Japan de ne compare jo mama na kene Japan BT jo mama entinka online film na aka hwan nya Kennedy
na aka kempe yes
enti survey ni nyina babonten statistics ni nyina ne favor ken MPP mpanifo si no no omo de omo ya abayifo omo ntoaso no omo we de beto omo 2028 mi donya mi senka MPP nya 9% kran ka mo nsreme
sure se wan fa ken ankwa
so mo di ba omia ko bi ma na say probability say ba omia votes so be sate more no higher ma me nchira calculation no man prisifo ni kusasifo no Ghana ha ba bia man prisi ni kusasifo no ntokwa na akoduru no kusasifo no omodo so che man prisi minim ho pa on say apa is asem ne yekan boko central area Galu Timpani Udana na uko Burkina no hye no so ho efebe pusiga awo nyina Udana nso so ene sankase na bohye minim ho pa kusasifo na doso ewo sa area ho eche man prisifo won se man prisifo dodo na wo na ringu won na ye north east no ene bi mso akoka eye upper east wo no so ahu eduba na ringu ni wale ba omia krom ni dia ewo nyina de kusasifo no doso pa ba nkoboku area ho dia man prisifo no doso na ringu nkoboku de kusasifo no mo pe adodo pa koko ni ade enti even southern part of Ghana no ba bi bebire so wa kusasifo no doso pa avedi etie edintwira ngoma no aba ye beto aba biem a uwe kusasifo nyina omo Ghana omo ko 1 million votes the whole Ghana omo ko 1 million votes na ntokwa sitrabu minu ntem na ukoyi ba akukọ ye wo party kakraka we kandinia ufi da opponent no obeto ama wanazo obeto atiawo obeto atiawo enti ufa baumia chese echinese 2028 upper east munko honko ye campaign uko wanko besanya zero na se zero na doctor nyinya nyese kontompo over 30 police stations no nya zero awana nso na ohu nyankopon de yesi baabi abonsambo na mpesi na nyankopon so ho wo ye koto internal elections no ana mochechire ade ni momu ne ya papa akoto eni ala nkyere matimu ense esremu ho special delegate elections baumia 100% MPP party no
polling station there were 5 delegates.
Yeah.
So we should be about me and Zalona. Rejected ballots no, a be a 3, a be a 2, a be a 1, a be a 1 a 5. A Chatanka polling station delegates no 5 no, come to about baby and maybe a 3.
That's one crown.
Baby and could be a 2. My can't now say, and you Baumian no Mompano. Montes as him Nazi. And you Baumian a party falling at the bay, and Peno. Ah, now and another have been the idea. Na party may soon, police or Munyabi, soldier or Munyabi, migration Munyabi, just say MPPT at Tia Kunyasono. Nas
or no bar, obey me, dear Marco, or the Ghana Cobosh assassin so. And why has he Dr. Baumia? Most Mompeno.
You may patrol first, 2023 7 now can another one within the chin. Someone sent from bed, Mobocano Crepa. What was another di Baumia? First in assembly, can you 2023 and another throw the support Emma Baumia. And no, met me, I can say, be a no candidate be a Auburn Buga, and the Mimi Modi were on the bit me actually. Send their president go for time on the favorite candidate. Tiranado say be an on the favorite candidate, not the Tia, a party in Penifuni, and the Malan to the Martin Filimono.
Yeah.
But the question is, you're 2 baby, yeah. Baumia ba no enenya Baumia so say gina o say gina bi na nanado way nanado otabra achi opa buso bia na adena onim say Baumia ye the vice president no wotimi boa na say nka obeta na chi sa akopim so obenya so mo say nanado ko 3 times as a saying ana kofo ko say anti yema Baumia nko anti nka nanado say de ko bebre ba sa unya ye say nka Baumia should ba kopedia go so say be eternity so what the concept na say but when say Baumia de na hwe ase we de hwe papa ye friend prof adubu ahin obekot 1992 1.3 million votes no di ja president kofo o say man ko ba kopewu ansa na obekọ empre bebre no mienu anamiensa no e performance ntia papa prof obekọ no e 1.3 million votes. Anna President Gofo increasing 2.8 million votes. That was 1996. Ya didn't quite wenya. Now Obia beto 1.3 million votes. No abe increasing 2.8. Then the party from say, hey, Papa, in native area, onya 65%. Satam Jalinya 33%. O subtracted 33 from 65, make 32%. And just say, Ashanti region Kofo Filino, or the 32% ne buy. But uko Baumia ne krom go wale no I want to feel northeast no and then na ringu area nyina wonya 54% ana mama nya 44%. Uti 44 free 54 my beka say 10%. Na so free ni krom ba Baumia ke say ni bibia not me jiru kwa me ntiase kremofo mo party na bro na emomo no de na kremofo ni bi nso pe empo omo ye floating voters eni omo ye party ma de omo pe no ene na party ye de be eye enti ye party na ne tu na mna Dr. Mum ana nkremofo empe no Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia ana nkremofo empe na nya MPP
mon nkremofo mon mpe Dr. Baumia
ma men chira calculations before 2016 elections na Dr. Nyameye vice president no ye running mate Ediba Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, your former president. Chekizongo communities biya na hwe 2016 Emma Omotodema MPP. Now the Safabra 2020 Emma Omotodema MPP. Na check 2024 Kozongo communities nyina na kohwe Emma Omututia Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia. It shows clearly say enkremofo zongofo omo pe MPP but omo pe doctor na amode ne baaye no na mekire odi enti a omo pe doctor wo de yemfa 2020 yanko uko ba bia me firi baaye Ashanti region ahọ na me de me butuo o pe zongo eso pa Asanwase constituency yawo aboabo number 1 yawo aboabo number 2 yawo Sawaba yawo Nima bi awo Sawaba ho Sawe asokore mampon owe bo ban paakoso asebi saa bro ni nyina ye wadu krom kran so hwe ho ni nyina nkremofo na age ho aboso Ashanti region nyina wonim se ye Masalachi kase Central Mosque no esi Asanwase constituency e kire se Kumasi de se pezongo ye strong pa Asanwase e ho na ye MPA muntaka no 2020 kura bato na COVID-19 kura wo no na ado nya 42% e wa asonwaso constituency so na ado MPP ni obi abetima cross check tama na ado nya 42% no mama nya 57% asonwaso constituency but yede papa Baomi oye kremoni ekoye no e wa asonwaso kro na o onya 36%.
Smart Gang Update.
Na ado ye Christian o onya 42. Baomi ye Muslim onya 36%. Baomi nya 36 no ana mama increasing the votes his excellency from 57% to 63%. Ubetimi a check now MPP krona kwa abato so ezongofo anto amane kese kura zongo votes no edoso wona na ado term 2016 2020 if you dey yanhwe siremu kura yanko baabi ti se Temale Central na ado 2020 onya 29,000 votes over 29,000 votes o 2020 Baomi ye ka Temale Central na gese ho no dagomba kasa ne ade na ye strong obi oye mamprusi ni bia so te dagomba kasa enso hwa Baomi na hote wo kasa no onu mo nya 20,000 votes o dey check
from 29,000 to
29,000 every so
watu egu
9,000 watu egu say MPP for so mo mpe watu egu bas votes asem ne ye kan yo enti there was a time it is so mo say aka na pen me yam hye me baba even Islam no kra ye ka Temale Central kura no na nado onye tani sabe na nado onye sirimuni na nado onye Muslim na nado free achem efri apoye mantemu Eastern region and so onunya 29,000 votes Baomi ye tani sabe Baomi ye kremoni Baomi ye sirimuni Baomi ahonso no free da ben ye cheche 5 northern region mu ye teacher 3 northern areas no na ye Temale no kwa na ye head on say northern region ya chebanya savannah ani abenya northeast ba ne ye nchiche mu no na nyina kaboma Temale ho na na ye o ma henkro enti ye ka ba bia Baomi afira ye Temale ho because e ofan de se Kumasi ne ye si ye chima ye benya asante achem na kese ho na akonya ne nchemu atwoma mponua ne abenya center Kumasi ye ka ni nyina aboma Asante region and the say savannah o say northeast o say north near na henkro ye Temale no ye ka ni nyina abom na esirim na o de ye nyimienu ne nto nchan upper east and upper west no entinka o area de vote bia na nadu benya bia na vote bia na nadu benya bia no I was say Baomi anya no be times 5 na so o depreciate here from 29,000 to 20,000 votes obi make Temale Central specifically me figure zongo communities bia de be akyerew no ahunu say anya MPP na nkremofo mpe o na mo nkremofo mpe candidate na modern ye de be e ba ye no
so ka san nkremofo mpa dienti no mo mpe candidate
dienti a me kire mu say o mo mpe no enie sabe ansa na be un say nkremofo mpe candidate ye de ne koye no ejina figures a onyaye ewo zongo communities na figures na onyaye so no ejina bibi so ti na onyaye sa figures no one say before 2016 Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baomi in 2020 o ka kire Muslim for say na ado ba o di bibi be ba efe no Zongo Development Fund and a Zongo Ministry.
Yes.
And so the Muslims were very happy. So motesa because e benya ministry ba ko ye be fe ni Zongo Ministry a na say e be ya adwuma boa Zongo communities no bananado azumi office 2017 ade ba bepem 2020 no ya hu ba bia Zongo Ministry ni fai one say even crowd bank remosuma nyame say innama yasha Allah min ibadihi fi ulama o si na body efo ni nyina ni creatures no omo di mu pa no eye omo sua de se wo sua nyame ngoma ubehu de nyame pe en de nyame nya de bai empe and the doctor na wanya nimdia ni nimde ko nkan e no se we president free ho a doctor na eba a jezen kan kremofo nso ya sebi nyankopon ama ye nyabre e MPP de bai amamu mu fine enti se ye nya wa ministry pa e wan ya said yes enko be na ministry na rezongofo
doctor
ona ye kremu na na do nye kremoni ana sebi we nanado office fidi wa ana nanado na etimi kire say ministry we nkwa ha de ba ono de odi abawie ampa nanado create zongo ministry ana meboa ya papa Abubakar Sadiq Boniface okoye minister ho ana ya papa Mustafa Hamid onso ko ana meboa e say zongo ministry ni ye de bay e buy now the question is zongos bia yenim ho e de na ministry ni ye ma ho mu ento mu hu say Dr. Beka chire omu edebeje power 2016 because most of the Muslims communities they came out massively and voted for Nanado 2016 ni votes are wonya ya owe over 1 million votes no na nkremofoni bi edebe account enti sa boshe no nkremofoni say doctor no order ye enti asem no obeka ye ba ya hwehwe amfiri mu sa zongo ministry na so no ka say sa zongo development fund no ombe yiska bi afiri mu 2020 okojira simpie so na 16 regions ni nyina omasi model schools senior high e ama zongo communities no sa wote ya metepa omo ya no so a ba kokura doctor anye uban kremosum a prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say al mu'minin Allah yukadhib o si jidie ni pa no ne ketre mantantro wasi jidie ya waboni bi wo nipa betima ye no akwa sakra nipa betima but what a drew and trod there ko sheni Muhammad sallallahu wasi jidie ni ne katre manye de be encantro enchinkemofo atiwade pa ne se obeka se omfa na wonam ha ana obeka se we kokko mekwa go ne fita ohunye woni biem kremofo ati woni kremoni na ma fita ye fita tuntum ye tuntum
ukọ etifido mantemu eni ade de ya beka se mamprusifoɔ ne kusasifoɔ entokwa no eno nso so ka ho na bia edi eka ho
eniama ekeka ho nti a doctor nkremofoɔ anto aba ama no anase Muslims ne ba out massively and voted against Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia no baako mekeka enu nyina bebam de edika ye nkremofoɔ na hu se ne ketrama ne ka atro na atro no ena mi figa nkremofoɔ nko side de mi kan nyina so se meboa mo nka se meboa ya creative ministry zongo di na da so afi zongo fo na ho hwe ya creative ministry ya see obi bi the zongo development fund mu benya sa fund na ide sisi model na 2020 Dr. Diko Zongo o say ona Mustafa Hamid na ye zongo minister and o say with Mustafa Hamid no mbe say 16 regions ni nyina obesi model schools e dia mazongo communities no and nebusam se ba akokura si zongo community
and so say Muhammad your friend say Mustafa Hamid and say mo blame
wan keka doctor le keka an doctor na say ono
so doctor kokan ya adwuma ne hye Mustafa Hamid nsa ntie bia doctor no e de adwuma na hye ne nsa ono na anye ye blame
me pa cho de wo mu ni say yes answer na ni frɛ ni beto bo abo no no de ne na asi so Mustafa Hamid ye minister doctor ye president Dr. Benanado Che Mustafa Hamid. Why never authorizing Mustafa Hamid? Amana ye adwuma no. Doctor. Ana Dr. Kro Kasano wa mo Mustafa Hamid di also or no. Obega say ye to abasa ama MPP dia. Sa 16 regions zongo communities bia sa squad and be kwa kuso. Wo de no to nchan ya. Obi a ye kremoni ni artist wa kojira Cape Coast Central region. O say ye besi harbor amamo any airport. Na na do duro also aboa men krata bia ni wa motisa na se nkremosum no ogu ani mase eba entra we go kremoni papa bia no say answer na be kwa keka asem bi no na so no president no yes enti the obeka no president no cause ampa na so keka asem bi na president ka sentisa ampa na central region sa harbor na isi wa na eniho airport na wa na enti kan kro se me ka se mo MPP for na mo anyi de zongo for ne form for pa eyemwa ni go nipa ne ka asema wonye de bayi onye ana Ghana ni bia nso obeto aba enye se zongo ni beto aba onim de ono so ye o to aba obenya mfaso ayre bayi afini so na se woka na wonye na obika na oya hwe John Dramani mama o ka kire ye zongo for se ye tanati a oba ya obeti haje so me pa chote ya na ze wante
so
no mfa ho any baby a dollar na mo menya campaign ma John mama me de ka be si asem so so wa hu se MPP for John mama hu se
MPP for the air dying doctor no musa ne beba. And this is for me a very smart politicians. I'm telling you, more especially John Dramani Mama. When who say doctor Ikrimoni. I know him say MPP do munya yi asamasi kodu mani ma. Ono ano musa ne beba. Enti onim or bokwa bi ato ama MP NDC for. And you said MPP for the Mahmoud Bawumia ba. Sabi o mani ma. Omudi obi akra be face na still ombesa we in 2028 elections. I'm telling you, so much of video na to ntina oba ya na oti haje so. Oti haje so no, oti so no say hard village. And o say show mu bo say yen o shey bo say obema ye 2 holidays. Me part o de amaya na so anfa amaye. O de amamu. And ye celebrate Eid al-Fitr. And Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha no na Abraham afọleba ye ku eye odwane na ntwie no. And Eid al-Fitr ye Ramadan. Ye the fasting be we ya sa idi no first ni ye no 1 per holiday na ye 1 ene jo mama na ye 2 enti papa ba o mi ono be ka kire zongo fo say Messi school adan amamu from Zongo Development Fund 16 regions nyina wansi ene mama ono be ka so bete hard village so wate e pa cha ne ukoyi ba omia na uyi obi afri andis mama ko zongo ahwa ne beto baba no beto ama andis yes. Enti yenya nkoto 2028 abakura and I'm telling you say NDC adikan enya 80% of Zongo votes. Enti na me catch us NDC for your smart. Nyeze me ye campaign am wo. Enti sa wo benya tumi. Na wo be kwa akɔhye ukromfo ne osomfo ne bo. Na wo ntimi nya. Ana Kristo ni timi be ye mo beto aba ye be ama no. Enti mama ye Kristo ni edi enti na wahwe ba omi afimfra mo Zongo community nyina. Eno na de bia me kan na me de akire MPP for say wo be yi Kristo ni na a Kristofo ni nyina be pie beto aba na nkremofo kakra nso abeka na mu de anya nkonimdie no eye chance wo be yi kremoni Kristofo ma pie nkremofo nso de abobo because muyi de nkremofo empe no muyi de Ghana fo mpe muyi de party ne mpe me kirechire ma obeti ase de di obiem ni ye beto aba no me kire ne manti ankremofo ye beto aba no ana doctor sabi oko asoli fie oko asoli bebre ana osa ko busum fie masa nkremofo ye opila num opa busa Muslim scholar bia sa pila num no aye wono ba ko ni se obedi adanse ye se Nyankopon ye la ilaha illallah unya gitum se nyame ye la ilaha illallah eye chiwade se obawura busum fie eye haram even unsase ekura no ye fre bibi shirk Nyankopon se odi bi boni bia beche e wo Qur'an mu na obi odi bibi kan nyame ho no onfa ne boni nya de be enche ne da ne e ka se odi bibi kan bon nyame ho a eni se upese unya nyame fufuro bi udi tumi bi firi nyame nsem ma nyame abode abra nyame nko aso na ye de be yi tumfo edi kremoni biara believe ne se nyame ye ba akopɛ me kira wade bi uba esum a Christianity ni Islam no omo ya ayonkofa ba som ne nyepe because Abraham na si ba ne yira ye friend Hajara a ye friend Hagar ono be wo ne ba ye friend Ishmael ye Ishmael Ishmael a won to aso ne be pie prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam a be pie Saudi Arabia ana Abraham yiri pani ne friend Sarah Sarah ne so ne wo ne be friend Ishaq our Arabic mu ye ba ye be friend Isaac sa Isaac nso awon to aso ne be Jesus Christ to one say Muslims and Christians omo ye de be ayonkofa ba some ne nyepe obi ani ne believe and na was nka doctor hu sa de no because kremoni gidie ni say nyame ye ba akopɛ
but say
Christopher so gidie Trinity of God
obedi Ghana nyina nim eti say so o make sure say nia obia agidi bia
onso be gibia
onso ebe ye ise de be ya oni omu nyina be nipa ba ako
yo me da say untia obi som onka obi som nhye untai obi som o ma som bia wo wa obeto ye no awo ho nemo mo no unkonko som obi som se wo hwa ma som bia ya adwuma eno wan se wo peli da bia utimi de wasam koto som bia nim se omomwa ba woni omo nya da ben enkosom tie ne ye o na se nkremodem MP4 ba ho DC for ni amanfo ba besere empaibo ana meboa ana obi but mayam hasole awie no
na omo de asem na yede be asem asi pede be MP na omo de na kire mo dom no but ma me ya allow akobalu ni bi because nya onem na yede be esom me pa cha wo kowura masalachi a you perform ablution before obeko ejale akoy istinja be gogoro o private part we are why be why ablution me pa cha we Kristo ni a we sansa na wakwa so de be enti esom ne yepe enye pe enti Kristo ni be twen abonten no ya sala wi no ansa na ma be yi nipa na yede be akire ba we de okọ so for bobe said dem ho no no de so for mfa ne nkata so ne nkata ne so satam no mo ya asole o
so oje nyame nhira
akire se wakwaje omusum na tum eye kremoni bi e no so sa hyemu de omu ka de ono so fu nenim afere so fu ni pie no say receive it kofo adanse e bra so we ya so for bobe said de no eno kura de nkentwa o ma wo kura o na kremoni wasa akọ busumfie ame e di nyanya ayerebe agukom ba bi egu petition dabi nkremosum tia edi ase da me so a ehuma nkremosum fo pa e alhaji ka alhaji ni kura nkan ho doctor de nkremofo mfa ho nyanku bon de mfa ho no doctor alhaji ni de eyo bi tama doctor be reanimate bi pa to ko busumfie ansa
me hunu bibi
o si no da ho na do frɛ no no na narrative ye say o person yen okotie na so be reanimate na abɔ ne bo na oba ne yere ba dwene ho saa nyame na o hye o saa ni munyam no saa nyame na o ma be vice president no saa nyame na betima ma wadi president and most of the Muslim scholars they came out and now speaking against and in kremofo so they on say ga say ntafo ye ba ko asem higher all Muslims communities and this asem we so ye be e ka ho na doctor we back to asirem ho no kusasi ne mamprusi no and na last doctor pa
sa no krese uye Muslim ni
me patron me Muslim ni nanye just a Muslim me deputy imam Kukum Central Mosque Asunafo South Mosque kakraka ni nyina imam ni ho a me na me wo ho enti me deputy chief imam Kukum Asunafo South District enti me kremo ni nye kremo keke
on deserve second chance
when weak candidate the most weakest candidate MPP for nya enti one me kire figure bi papa kofo ebetam from 2.8% million votes no out from 1996 the year 2000 and we winning and of course I call 3.6 million votes
exactly
if you want ono be kwa no ja ye papa Akufo-Addo 4.5 million votes are president go di ja ye no 2008 Nana-Addo call ye no o maintain is 4 million votes now want so 4 million no when so and the pie ye no so be kaya and e call 10 it is a MPP former Nana-Addo Kwamani Kobiema. It was because of his performance. He did very well, marvelously. Now a time so okay 23,000 abani yirisa Ghana baby akra nyire say 2008. Now him say President Kufuor or beje baton every adubu ayi woro. Na onye vice president so nim zade
no only hwe
na Nana-Addo so nye vice president anti nka wo dia wo ye vice president ka dia opportunity kase kura wo ye vice president na Nana-Addo ba be ko no from 2008 when 2016 ye be we ne no obon bra oba be ko the year 2024 no na we ja votes 6.7 million votes votes are Nana-Addo di ja no and obeti so ba 4.6 hey after the odie prof kura osan ye starting class 1 MPP for no omom di ba omi achi mu bi o mo very wicked omo pe party ni kura
so odi doctor ba omi achi ni che so ye wicked
na say elections ye full of calculations ye kwa na ye sign obi anja o 6.7 million votes na say elections ye full of calculations ye kwa na ye sign obi anja o 6.7 million votes tieo anka wo dia won teso kura manenka wa beti so akọ 4.6 million votes what is kura o hwe unim se ye to aba bia parliamentarians no ye de votes ni nyina boma de bia presidential de do so che parliamentarians unim se ade eno na me koye adoasafo calculations no on say adoasafo kura ne papa firi wo no one say Address Avunya 75 million votes no. Nana-Addo benya 78 million votes. Or be 10 over 3,000 votes.
Baonse Baumia ne Erom Makekwe no. Erom Makekwe nya over 50,000 votes. Baumia nya 5,000 pe. Na say the MP ni kura na unim say 7 constituencies wo Ghana ha Baumia nya 7 regions wo Ghana ha Baumia win ni constituency ba kokula.
7 regions.
Upper East wo nya ba kokula. Upper West wo nya ba kokula. Volta wo nya ba kokula. Oti wo nya ba kokula. Bunu East wo nya ba kokula. Western North baby ani wo nya area ho wo nya just say 7 regions. Wa winning one constituency your party ne bi me say not na make at
them mo ko 2028 the necessary party ne ye
the also party ne ye nyina ne say said na me ye calculations no obi ahu Professor Adubu ahin oko ba akopɛ enti sɛ onim ye party na ba kwasem ye dia 1992 the performance nyinti ye ma ne san sana Baumia nyo obi ne kumantwi ya ba ne kwan ana wakɔ calculations ni ba bia no ere bay ti say the ma prof tenase no I was here ma no so ere bay tenase because we party ni mukura ya very big mistake ya de ano adura kan ye fa Christian na ye de cremonia di akire we no be say papa Kofu asa na obeba no na ye Ali Mama say okay ana na ado so asa na obeba no na ye papa Mahmud Baumia and one say party ni de na ano adura kan no wunim say na wo ye edenya power wo se me yede be me dane no
as a we majority minority now they are called
because party no ba na ho odin na southern part of Ghana baby a party na ho odin southern part of Ghana kuta 65% party ni mu dom no e wo e form ha ukosire ma kakra bi na yede be e wo ho yes enti dey want only same for nyina be ka ho na wanya hade nti uyi candidate a we delegate a I was so quick candidate free baby. I would dom near the bay. I want to have a religious affiliation. It plays major role. About to ma. I was some factor say party ni mudu do no so Christian. Hwe aka so yem fantini.